Hi, and welcome to my kitchen because this is the best lighting in my apartment, so this is where I'm filming. Today I wanted to do like a everyday makeup look, and I want you to watch it and rate me, like rate my makeup skills and what I'm doing good and what I'm doing wrong, etc. I've been trying to get back into makeup for a while now. Because when I was a teenager, I was like really good at makeup. Like I used to do a full face of makeup for school every single day with the lashes, with the eyeliner, with everything. And then I stopped doing makeup. So I really wanted to get back into it because it feels like a lost skill that I used to be like really good at it. And now I feel like I sometimes struggle with like a daily basic look. So this is what it is. If you want to rate me, then I can't wait to hear your opinions. So first, primer. This is what I use. This is what I use. It's really good. I never used primer before, but I started doing this and it really kind of smooths my face underneath the makeup. So I would recommend this one if you're like looking for a primer. It's probably like not super good, like it's not super fancy, but I like it, so I use it. And already like I can feel how it like smoothed me out, and I don't know, I really like how this works. Maybe because I never used primer, so maybe that's why it's such a like game changer for me. For foundation, I'm using this one. Shade is 100, which is like a warm door. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is like the best color match for me. You're gonna see when I put it on that it's kind of yellowy, but I feel like my face is kind of pinkish and the yellow tones kind of fight the pinkish in my face. But I'm not sure if this is like the best color match for me. It's definitely the best one I found. But I don't know, I'm kind of thinking maybe I should go into more like neutral tones, but I used to be very warm toned, I feel like. And even if you look like at my hand, like it's very warm toned. It's just that I wear, the SPF every day. So my face is not really tan. And maybe that's the problem. I don't know. So I forgot to say I did my skincare earlier, so I didn't show that. I got straight into the makeup. So skincare is in there, like underneath. I did it before. Yeah, so I use a sponge to do my makeup. I'm very much a sponge girl. I hate brushes. So that's also a thing. Anyway, I'm doing 2 pumps, maybe for the beginning. And I'm gonna do those like big blobs on my face. So a lot of people put foundation first like straight onto their face and then using the sponge to blend it, or people put it on their hand and then use a sponge to put it on. I've always done this like this, so that's what I'm doing. So I've put those 2 pumps kind of everywhere and I'm just going straight into blending it. As you can see already, this is kind of yellowish, but again, because I have a lot of like the pink undertones are kind of giving. I really like this foundation. I was looking for a good like long wear foundation for a while. I tried the Estee Lauder double wear, like the goat of Estee Lauder, and I hated it so much because my skin is very prone to drying out. And when I put the Estee Lauder on, it dried me out completely. Like you could see the flaking on my face immediately after like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. So I didn't buy it in the end. Yeah, so I bought this instead, and I really like it for a couple of reasons. First of all, it is long wear. Like I wear it sometimes for like 12, 16 hours, no problem. And it just stays really pretty, I think. I also like the finish because it's kind of like velvety, you know what I mean? It's like satin almost, and it doesn't dry my skin out. So that's definitely, a plus here, because then you can see the flaking when it dries me out and, it ruins like the whole makeup. I think, this looks nice. Maybe I'm gonna put one more pump, especially, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, sorry, I had to pick up my phone. Anyway, so I used to have hormonal acne and it was really bad for a moment. So now I've put foundation on, so you can't see it, but underneath here, I have like I don't know if it's like scars, it's like discoloration from the acne. And as you can see, like it's not visible even with just 2 pumps. So I think this is a good foundation. Still, I'm gonna put 1 more pump, especially in this area, and maybe on the other side here too, because that's where the discoloration is. But other than this, I think it's, it's good. It's decent. It blends nicely, I think. And I really like to take my makeup into my ears so you can see like the line, the stitch of the makeup. I take it almost like into the hairline. I know that people put on like they do foundation on their necks. It does seem a little crazy to me. Now that I'm looking at myself, I have got, the screen mirroring right here. It does look well. Like if you put, like maybe it's, my hand is a little warmer and you can see the difference in color, but because my face is so pale, I feel like if I put the same color that's on my hand on my face, it would be like a little bit too dark. So yeah, this is the foundation. I like the finish look of just the foundation alone. It's very velvety and satin, and it doesn't dry me out, which is the most important thing here. Now we're done with the foundation. What I used to do in the past is I used to put concealer first and then bronzer and blush. Now I do it like a different way. I put bronzer on first, then I put blush on, and at the end I put on concealer because I love a good blush. I am a victim of blush blindness, so if I put too much blush on and after that I put concealer on, then it kind of evens out. So that's what I'm gonna do. First, I'm gonna do the bronzer, and I hate my bronzer. I definitely need a new one. You can barely see. This is the bronzer I'm using. It's Essence Baby Got Bronze. I don't like it for a couple of reasons. First of all, probably not the best color match for me. You're gonna see it's very dark. I put it on with this. So I just take a little bit of bronzer. I find my bone and I go like this right on my bone. Then I do this again and try to make it almost into a triangle, but like not really a triangle. Yep. So is this the same amount? It looks like the same amount. And then blend it with a sponge. By the way, I don't put water on my sponge. Like I know a lot of people do that, and I don't really know why. And maybe you're gonna see I have a bit of a problem with blending. So maybe if I put water on it, I wouldn't have that problem. I don't know. Anyway, I just, and you can see already they look different. But it's okay. It's nice. It's okay. I've got it. Okay, I feel like this is blended nicely. Now I'm gonna do this part. I put it on my brush and then I go into like this where I have, what's that called? Like when you're going bald. I am going a little bald. I'm losing a lot of hair. It's probably the hormones. Okay, this came out nicer than usually. Sometimes when I blend it out, then I have like a line here and I have to fix it with concealer. But today I don't feel like I have a line here. I feel like this is very nice. But I'm gonna do a little bit more in here and here. Like right next to the hairline. Okay, this looks nice. This looks good. Yeah, that's how much bronzer I put on. I don't do bronzer here. I don't know. Maybe it's because I have a round face and I'm like fully accepting the roundness of my face. I don't want to make it look too snatched because it just doesn't look that good on me. Okay, so this is the bronzer. Tell me what you think about the color of the bronzer. For me, I feel like maybe it's a little too cold. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. There's something wrong with this bronzer, and I can't tell if it's just the color, if it's maybe just not that good of a bronzer. I don't know. I'm not like a big fan of it. Anyway, blush. This is the blush I'm using. It's Sun Kisser by Maybelline, and the color is 06. It's City Sizzle. I really like the color. I have a bit of a problem with blending this one out. Maybe once again, it's because I don't put water on my sponge. But yeah, you'll see how this turns out. Okay, so I put three kind of blobs on here. It's hard to blend it out. I don't know if you can see this, but it's I'm kind of trying to take it more into the bronzer so it blends with the bronzer, but it's not giving. I don't know if my bronzer placement is good. If it's not like too low, or maybe my blush is too high, but you can almost see like where the blush ends and the bronzer begins, and then with what's left over on my sponge, I just put it like lightly onto the nose. I don't want to make it too rose, too blushed, but I wanted a little, I like the sun-kissed kind of look. Okay, it's kind of hard to blend, but then I feel like the color is really, really nice. Maybe I'm gonna now fix the bronzer. So after that's, I do it very often. After I'm done with the blush, I go back into the bronzer. And I don't know if you can see this in camera, but there's almost like a white line between the blush and the bronzer. So I just put it back in there. On the other side, you know, came out better, but just to blend the two together, I'm gonna put a little bit of bronzer to kind of mix it. Okay, this looks good. Yeah, I like it. So as you can see, the blush is very far up and it does look like there's a lot of blush. So what I do is I use my concealer. Wait, can you see it? Oh, there it is. It's True Match from L'Oreal. The color is one neutral. This is the lightest shade I think they have, or the lightest shade that was available in my, like, the drugstore. I use my concealer mostly to brighten my face, not to cover stuff up. So I always just go with the lightest one because I'm pretty pale, and this one just, that's what brings out the brightness in the places it's supposed to bring out the brightness, you know? So this is how I put it on. There are so many ways to put concealer on. I swear to God, it should be easier than this. So I put it on and then go back to my sponge and just blend it in here. I kind of put it on the side of my nose as well, but mostly I just want to go up here where the blush ends. Maybe I'm just gonna do a little, yup. Why am I struggling so much? I kind of like how I'm looking with makeup. I don't know, I had this phase where I didn't do makeup at all for like, I think 3 years or something, because I was like, you know, now I'm like a natural queen and I still prefer to take care of my like natural beauty first and foremost, like my skin, etc. But I don't know, I've been feeling makeup lately. That's why I'm doing all of this. Now with the concealer, you can see that the blush just doesn't look this awful anymore. That's why I put it after the blush, because it blends with the blush and it brings out the lightness in my face. What I also do is right here, I put a bit of concealer and I also put some brightness in here. Okay, we're looking snatched. Oh, by the way, while we're talking about snatched, I didn't used to do that, but now I also put concealer kind of here to kind of like snatch it, you know? I don't put a lot on though, because that's also, you know, I have a problem with the placement of bronzer, clearly. This looks nicer. This is harsh. This is harsh. Okay, maybe this is better. Okay, yeah, this is better like this, right? On camera, does it look good? Yeah, I'm snatched now. Okay, so I'm gonna do my eyes now, and then I'm gonna do the powders. In general, I hate powder products. Once again, I dry out very quickly. That's probably why the powder products look bad very quickly on my face. But I have this really nice setting spray that kind of fixes everything. I feel like you put it on, I'll tell you later, you know, when I get to it, then I'll tell you. First I'm gonna do my eyes. This is gonna be very, very simple eyes. because again, this is like an everyday look. For an everyday look, I wouldn't do like fancy eyes. So first, I prime my eyes with this NYX high definition, wait, oh, there it is, primer, eyeshadow base, whatever you want to call it. This is very old, by the way. I know that makeup expires, but I've had it for probably like 3 years now. This says that after opening you should use it in 18 months. It's definitely even longer than this, but then again it works, so who am I to judge? And I have this tiny little sponge to like blend it out evenly. And all I want to do with my eyes is give them a little bit of a shadow and a little bit of a shimmer. So I take this Morphe, once again, a very old palette. It looks like this right now. It's kind of disgusting, I know. Anyway, I take the blush with like a fluffy sponge, tap it obviously, and then I just go and I just kind of, you know, give it a shadow. I really, really like this blush. It's the one that's gone. Not because I used it, but because I dropped it, and this and this one, they just fell out. So I used to use it a lot, and then it fell out and now it's gone. But enough to do my eyes. This is intense. I love pink. Every time I want to add shadows to my eyes, the shadows are pink. I don't like bronze makeup. I always have to remember to keep a light hand when I'm doing my makeup. I have the tendency to have a very heavy hand, and I feel like you can tell when I'm done. But today, no. Today my hand is kind of light. Okay, so blend it a little bit here. This needs more. No, but this is good. Does it look good on camera? Yeah, I think it does. Maybe I'll just take the excess product off, and I'll just give a little bit more blend to it. I'm obsessed with blending. Like if you were on like YouTube, if you watched YouTube tutorials in like 2016, everything was about blending, and I have it like ingrained in my brain that you have to blend perfectly. It's all that matters in makeup, the blending. It can make or break your look. Okay, am I liking this? Yeah, again, this is just supposed to be a bit of a shadow. Can you see it? Ooh, I take this like packed brush, dense brush, and I have this very old, again, this is probably like 6 or 7 years old. So I take this palette because it has like a very nice, can you tell this is my first makeup tutorial? The lightest shade that they have, it's a little glitter, it's not too much glitter, so this is what I'm liking for like an everyday look. And now I have to get really close to the mirror. This looks nicer than this one for whatever reason. Now that I'm done with this, I take back this brush and I kind of go here again to make sure it's blended, and the middle of my eyes kind of could, oh, yeah. That's nice, I think. Very like everyday look, you know? And also I'm gonna put a little bit in like the inner corner, but I'm gonna use maybe this kind of like slanted, curved brush. I don't know, I just put heavy and I go here. Oh no, I have eye boogies. Okay. Yeah, just like lightly. I used to do, when I was in high school, I used to do my inner corners. They were very packed with glitter. I had this kind of like glitter pen, and I used to put a lot of glitter in my inner corner. To be honest, I still totally like this look, to be honest. But people would ask me if there is something wrong with my eyes because I had so much glitter like in the inner corner. You could see it from like miles away. So now I try to be, you know, lighter with the inner corner. And right in here, I'm gonna take this small but still kind of dense brush, and I'm gonna put it just here. Oh, that's nice. Okay, this looks okay. Maybe I'll blend it a little bit with what, the fluffy one? No, maybe with this fluffy but smaller one. Kind of just, and well, so it's not like too, yeah, that's better, I think. The eyes are done, I think. Like, this is the eye look, the finished eye look. Yeah, natural light, that's what we are going for. And now I'm gonna bake. It's 2016 and we're baking our face. A lot of, like, I learned makeup in like 2014, 15, 16. So maybe I should watch more tutorials, but I feel like in the past you had like a few makeup like gurus, and now there are so many and they all contradict themselves. Like, one person will tell you to do this and the other person will tell you to do just the opposite of that. And I can't find like anyone that I like, I guess. I maybe not like, but someone I would like trust. If you have any YouTubers or TikTokers even who do decent makeup tutorial and you actually think their advice is worth following over the other people, let me know, because I need to watch some stuff, and yeah, and it's not looking bad, but I could use some advice. Anyway, I use rice powder. I put it in this cup, then I take whatever this is called, put it heavy, and then what I saw people on TikTok do is they take the excess off on their hand and then they put it on their face. There's still a lot. I didn't take enough excess off. Okay, other side. I'm not taking enough excess off. Yeah, my phone's run out of storage. I hope I fixed it. If this doesn't save, I'm gonna be so mad. Okay, so now obviously you want to take the excess off. This is nice. I forgot my forehead. Okay, with the powders, I really don't like powders. But yeah, that's, if you want your makeup to last, I'm afraid you have to use them. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of bronzer and a little bit of blush. Wait, I have to check if my camera is still rolling. This doesn't save, then I swear to God, there's so many problems today. The universe does not want me to do YouTube. This is my first video on this channel, by the way, so subscribe, I guess. Anyway, I will take this kind of the warmest shade I have here and just a little bit. Yeah, and I do everything with the same brush. And I'll take, I guess, this blush, because this one is gone, so I'll take the one I have and just, ooh. Okay, this is nice. Okay, now I'm gonna do my brows, my lashes. Oh no, before I do my brows and lashes, I have to put on highlighter. Now, this highlighter, no idea what this is. I've had it again for probably like 5 years. I definitely need to buy a new one, because this is like actively melting. And when I put it on, you can kind of see like the melt on my face. Anyway, last thing, I put highlighter and I kind of just dab it on like this. Okay, now my phone is telling me that it needs to cool down. Anyway, I don't know, it keeps cutting me off. Awful. Okay, you take it with this brush. Oh, I forgot to say this. Now I'm gonna do my brows. And I don't put any color on my brows because I feel like the color that I have and the density that I have are enough. So the first thing I do is I brush it out like I showed you. And then, by the way, not sure what this is. This is from like Alverde, but the whole thing is in German. I'm not sure where I bought it. It's not this old because I remember it's not even a year old, that's for sure. It's like a few months. So, and it's just a brow gel, like the most basic one I could find, because I feel like my brows just don't need a lot of work. Okay, second to last step is the eyelashes, and I'm gonna use this. Ooh, this is from Eveline. Eveline is, I believe, a Polish company. It's very cheap, but it makes your lashes look really nice, I think. I used to do so much mascara, and now I like to keep it simple. I feel like less is more, you know? My lashes are kind of long on their own, so I don't need, you know, too much. Okay, so now that the lashes are done, the last thing I do is obviously set my face. This is the setting spray I'm using. I love this one. I wore it on my wedding day. I wore it for like, you know, the whole day, whatever, however long the wedding is. And it all stayed in place. So I can really recommend this. The only downside is that it smells like hairspray. It doesn't feel like hairspray, I think. Maybe first when you put it on, it kind of does a little bit. But when you wait like a few minutes, it feels nice and it sets your face forever. So yeah, I'm gonna set it. Whew. Yeah, now it feels like a hairspray, but in a minute or two, it went into my mouth. So yeah, this is the final look. And so yeah, this is my final look. Feel free to critique me on anything I did wrong. Once again, I'm here to make my skills better. So if you would suggest changing anything, I'm really open to whatever you have to say. If you have any YouTubers or TikTokers or anyone who does makeup to recommend, then just put them in the comments. I would love to watch some people who know what they are doing, but just people you know are good. Like, I don't want to watch, you know, people who do 50 tips a day, and those tips make no sense when you think about it. So yeah, take one last look. Remember to subscribe, tell me in the comments what you think, and I guess thank you for watching. Bye.